40 days, 40 nights, a number that echoes throughout the pages of the Bible, marking pivotal moments in human history. But what's so special about the number 40? Why does it appear repeatedly in situations of testing, judgment, and preparation? Today, we're going to explore the secrets behind this number and how it can teach us about resilience, faith, and transformation. First, the Great Flood. Once upon a time, in an ancient world full of stories, there was an event that would forever mark the memory of humankind: the Great Flood. It all began with a rain that slowly intensified until it became an overwhelming phenomenon. It wasn't an ordinary rain, the kind that wets the earth and brings life. It was a rain that carried the weight of divine judgment. For 40 days and 40 nights, the waters fell without ceasing, flooding everything on the surface of the earth. The rivers overflowed, the seas rose, and the mountains, once imposing, were submerged beneath an endless ocean. The flood was not just a natural catastrophe, it was a moment of profound transformation. God, observing the corruption and evil that spread among human beings, decided to intervene. Humanity had strayed from its original purposes, and the hearts of people were filled with violence and selfishness. However, even in the midst of destruction, there was a greater plan: renewal. The flood was not just an end, but also a new beginning. In the midst of the chaos, one figure stood out: Noah, a righteous and upright man who found grace in God's eyes. He received a monumental mission to build a gigantic ark capable of sheltering his family and a pair of every species of animal. As the rain fell and the waters rose, the ark floated, a symbol of hope amidst desolation. Inside it, life was preserved, awaiting the moment when the waters subsided and the earth could be reborn. The 40 days of rain were a period of trial, but also of reflection. For Noah and his family, each falling drop was a reminder of human fragility and the need to trust in the divine plan. For the rest of humanity, it was a moment of judgment, a warning about the consequences of straying from essential values. When the rain finally stopped and the waters began to recede, a new world emerged. The earth, washed and purified, was ready for a new beginning. Noah and his family disembarked, and the animals spread out to repopulate the earth. The rainbow, a sign of the covenant between God and humanity, shone in the sky, promising that such a flood would never happen again. The flood teaches us that, even in the darkest moments, there is room for hope and renewal. Could it be that in our lives, the most difficult periods are also those that prepare us for new chapters? Just as the waters of the flood cleansed the earth, the trials we face can purify us, preparing us for a brighter future. The flood was not just a story of destruction, it was, above all, a story of rebirth and faith. Second, Moses on Mount Sinai. Imagine yourself facing a challenging journey, climbing an imposing mountain, shrouded in mystery and grandeur, where the sky seems to touch the earth. Now think about facing the unknown, leaving behind the security of the familiar and entering a sacred space where the divine manifests itself in a powerful way. This is exactly what Moses, one of the greatest leaders in biblical history, experienced when he ascended Mount Sinai. This moment was not just a physical climb, but a deep spiritual journey. Moses spent 40 days and 40 nights on top of the mountain, in direct communion with God. During this period, he not only received the tablets of the Ten Commandments, but was also immersed in teachings, revelations, and guidance that would shape not only his life, but the destiny of an entire nation. The Ten Commandments were not just rules. They were fundamental principles that would bring order, justice, and purpose to the people of Israel. These 40 days were not a time of passivity or mere waiting. On the contrary, they were an intense period of preparation, transformation, and renewal. Moses was challenged to shed his human limitations and connect with the divine in a way that few have experienced. He left Mount Sinai not only with the tablets of the law, but with a transformed heart, an enlightened mind, and a strengthened spirit. He was ready to lead his people through the desert, facing challenges, overcoming obstacles, and guiding them towards the promised land. What could you achieve after 40 days of focus, dedication, and communion with your highest purposes? Imagine dedicating 40 days to a specific goal, whether it is spiritual, professional, or personal. 40 days to delve deeper into a project, to cultivate healthy habits, to connect with your faith, or to develop skills that would transform your life. Like Moses, you could emerge from this experience transformed, wiser, stronger, and more prepared to lead yourself and others towards a promising future. The example of Moses on Mount Sinai reminds us that great achievements require time, dedication, and a deep connection with something greater than ourselves. Whatever mountain you need to climb in your life, remember that the journey may be challenging, but the reward, transformation, and growth is worth every step. Third, Jesus in the desert. The episode of Jesus in the desert is one of the most profound and symbolic moments of his spiritual journey. After being baptized by John the Baptist in the Jordan River, Jesus was led by the Holy Spirit into the desert, where he would spend 40 days and 40 nights in complete fasting. This period was not just a physical test, but also a spiritual battle, a moment of introspection and preparation for the ministry he was about to begin. The desert, in biblical tradition, is a place of trial and revelation. It is where solitude and silence become the setting for the confrontation between faith and temptation. During these 40 days, Jesus faced 3 great temptations presented by the devil, who sought to divert him from his divine mission. The first was the temptation of immediate gratification. After so long without eating, the devil suggested that Jesus turn stones into bread. However, Jesus responded firmly, "It is written, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God." Matthew 4:4. The second temptation was that of earthly power. The devil took Jesus to a high place, showed him all the kingdoms of the world, and said that he would give him authority over them if Jesus worshipped him. Once again, Jesus resisted, stating, "It is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." Matthew 4:10. Finally, the third temptation was that of presumption and testing God. The devil took Jesus to the highest point of the temple in Jerusalem and challenged him to throw himself down, saying that the angels would protect him. Jesus, however, responded with wisdom. "It is also written, do not put the Lord your God to the test." Matthew 4:7. By overcoming these temptations, Jesus demonstrated not only his divinity, but also his full humanity, showing that it is possible to resist trials with faith and determination. This period in the desert was crucial to strengthen his spirit and solidify his purpose. Upon leaving the desert, Jesus was ready to begin his ministry, preaching the gospel, healing the sick, and bringing hope to all who crossed his path. This episode invites us to reflect on the moments of solitude and challenge in our own lives. How often do we feel abandoned or tested, as if we were in a desert? However, these moments can be unique opportunities to strengthen ourselves, reaffirm our values, and prepare ourselves for the next steps. Like Jesus, we can emerge from these experiences more resilient and ready to fulfill our purpose, whatever it may be. The desert, therefore, is not just a place of deprivation, but also of transformation. It is where we learn to depend, not on our own strength, but on that which sustains us on a deeper level: faith, hope, and a sense of mission. And in the end, like Jesus, we can emerge renewed, ready to make a difference in the world. The number 40 is not simply a numeral, a digit, or a random quantity. It transcends mathematics and takes on a profound and symbolic meaning in various cultures, religions, and traditions throughout history. It represents much more than a count. It is a universal archetype of trial, preparation, and transformation. When we come across the number 40 in different contexts, whether in the Bible, in mythology, in literature, or even in contemporary narratives, it emerges as a milestone that delimits a period of challenges, reflection, and change. Think, for example, of the 40 days of rain that flooded the earth during the biblical flood. This period was not only a test of endurance for Noah and his family, but also a moment of purification and renewal for the world. Or consider the 40 days that Moses spent on Mount Sinai in communion with the divine to receive the 10 Commandments. This time of isolation and introspection was essential for him to guide his people towards a new beginning. And still, the 40 days that Jesus spent in the desert, facing temptations and strengthening his spirit, preparing himself for his mission. In all these examples, the number 40 is not a coincidence. It is a symbol of a necessary process, a period of transition that precedes a great transformation. But what does this mean for us in our daily lives? The number 40 invites us to reflect on the challenges we face and how they can be catalysts for growth. It is in the most difficult moments, when we feel tested to the limit, that we discover our true strength and resilience. These periods of trial, as exhausting as they may seem, are precisely those that prepare us for the greatest victories. They shape us, strengthen us, and enable us to achieve what in times of ease we might never have imagined being capable of. What are you willing to face in the next 40 days to achieve the transformation you desire? Imagine this period as a journey of self-discovery and overcoming. It could be a physical challenge, such as a commitment to a more intense exercise routine. It could be an emotional challenge, such as facing fears or cycles of negative thoughts. Or perhaps it is a spiritual challenge, such as dedicating daily time to meditation, prayer, or reflection on your purposes. Whatever your particular desert is, it is an opportunity to grow, evolve, and transform. The next 40 days can be the beginning of a new phase in your life. They can represent the time needed for you to prepare, strengthen yourself, and align with your deepest goals. Remember, just as the seed needs time in the dark soil before sprouting, we also need periods of introspection and effort to flourish. The number 40 is a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there is a greater purpose in action. And when you emerge from this period, you will be more prepared, wiser, and closer to the victory you seek. So, face the next 40 days as a unique opportunity. What are you willing to sacrifice? What habits are you willing to change? What fears are you willing to face? The transformation you seek is within your reach, but it requires dedication, patience, and courage. The number 40 is not just a number. It is a call to action, an invitation for you to become the best version of yourself. And the journey begins now. If this content resonated with you, leave a like, share it with someone who needs this message, and subscribe for more profound reflections like this. Transformation starts now.